Hi, psychologist Dr. Mattu here. I am an anxiety expert, and on this video, I'm reacting to Megan Thee Stallion's Anxiety. I have not seen the video. I have not heard the song. I have really wanted to, but I've kind of kept it away because I want to make this reaction video. I'm gonna watch the video here with you, and then we'll do a deeper dive. I like the beat. I like the animation style too. That's really cool style. Is she just falling the whole time? Is this the same kind of like a repeating gif?
I'm a bad bitch and I got bad anxiety. People call me rude cause I ain't letting them try me. Saying I'm a hoe cause I'm in love with my body. Issues but nobody I can talk to about it. They keep saying I should get help, but I don't even know what I need. They keep saying speak your truth, and at the same time say they don't believe. Man, excuse me while I get into my feelings for a second. Usually I keep it in, but today I gotta tell it. Not that anybody gives a fuck anyway, but everybody talking shit probably sucks anyway. Yeah, I don't even know how
I love how much she's normalizing anxiety
today
here.
I really hate everybody. And that's just me being real. Yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, bad bitches have bad days too. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, bounce back high, bad bitch, always do. All I really wanna hear is it'll be okay. Bounce back cause a bad bitch can have bad days. All I really wanna hear is it'll be okay.
I love the cyclical aspect of it, anxiety.
My mama that I should have been listening, and I would tell her sorry that I really been wildin', and ask her to forgive me cause I really been trying, and I would ask please show me who been real, and get them from around me if they all been fake. It's crazy how I say the same prayer to the Lord, and I always get surprised about who he take. Man, I'm really thinking about dialing 911 till I free, cause they probably won't think it's that deep, and I don't do drugs.
Oh man, 911.
I can't even handle smoking weed. Marilyn Monroe, my favorite hoe, my favorite bad bitch, I think she the GOAT. Jamming to Britney, singing to Whitney. I just want to talk to somebody that get me. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
this is
Thursday,
so good.
bad bitches have bad
I don't know what I like better, the beat or the lyrics. I mean, it's the lyrics because I'm a therapist, but the beat's great.
All I really want to hear is it'll be okay. Bounce back cause a bad bitch can have bad days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, bad bitches have bad days too. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, bounce back high, bad bitch, always do.
And the visual of just falling, I think the color did subtly change. It's getting like more kind of red or purple. Oh man, this is really good. In the first verse,
I'm a bad bitch and I got bad anxiety. People call me rude cause I ain't letting them try me.
I like this a lot. Sometimes people who have anxiety, whether it's social anxiety, generalized anxiety, panic, whatever it might be, they might come across as being irritable, as being annoying, as being shy, as being aloof, but what might really be happening is below the surface, they're deeply struggling. They've been on this high level of anxiety all day, so when you ask them a question, it's not that they're being mean to you as much as they're struggling and this is how they're coming across.
Saying I'm a hoe cause I'm in love with my body. Issues, but nobody I can talk to about it.
For so many reasons, mental health support is so inaccessible to a lot of people. You might not be able to access a therapist because there isn't one available, or there is one nearby, but they don't have a bit availability to see you. Or maybe you got the stigma of mental illness that's keeping you from getting help because you don't even think that this is something that is deserving or you're deserving of getting help. Or maybe you've got you can't afford it, or your family is not on board with it, or maybe you're going to a therapist who doesn't understand you, who doesn't understand your background, your culture, and is invalidating of your experience.
They keep saying I should get help, but I don't even know what I need.
Oh man, this is such a great line because it speaks to just how messed up the mental health system is. JFK wanted to fund this nationwide system of mental health care. It was like one of the last things he was working on before he died. And we've just never put the money into mental health that we've really needed to. So you've got this like messed up patchwork system that doesn't really do a lot to help the people who are kind of just getting by, that probably need support but are not suffering enough to kind of rise to this higher level of support. You know, there's so much advertising right now around like, oh, you need help. You know, I was really struggling with this too, and I was going through all the stuff, and then I started seeing a therapist and everything changed, and I think you should see a therapist too. But it's really an ad for some kind of therapy platform. Sure, therapy is great if you can navigate it, if you can find it, if you can find a therapist that understands your your struggles and that you feel safe with.
They keep saying speak your truth, and at the same time say they don't believe.
The genius lyric support here is telling me that this is kind of like speaking to an experience that Megan went through, where a lot of people don't believe her about how she was shot, the circumstances around it. I don't know a lot about that, so I'm not going to speak to that, but I do want to speak to how this resonates with me. This idea of just go to therapy, talk, get your help, get your support, and at the same time, like, so many people, especially young people, might really feel invalidated. You do not understand this experience I'm going through. You don't believe me. You're not really making an effort to understand. I see that conflict a lot between parents and teenagers, where parents don't understand, like, they want to listen to their kids, but at the same time, they're not listening to their kids. No matter who you are, no matter what you've gone through, you can always validate the experience that someone else is having. Whatever someone is feeling is their real emotion. Whatever their memory of an experience is, that is their real memory of that experience. Like, validate that. Even if you disagree with it, you can always validate that you are experiencing sadness. You're going through this stuff. I understand. I am listening to you. I hear you. Even if you disagree, you can always validate the experience. Support each other, listen to each other, understand each other, not judge, evaluate, or try to find the truth here. That's not what mental health is all about.
Yeah, I don't even know how I feel. I don't even know how I deal. Today I really hate everybody, and that's just me being real.
One of the things about anxiety is fight or flight, right? Like, a lot of people talk about how anxiety can wire you to escape a situation. That's flight. But the other thing it can wire you to do is fight. So, like, fight off a lion if they attack you. Sure. But if you look at a lion that's in a cage, that's been stuck in a cage for a while, what does that lion do when it's scared? It roars, because that's the only thing it can do. So a lot of the times we do that with our anxiety as well, is when we've been feeling this way, we feel sort of trapped or we feel stuck. Sometimes we take that out on other people, and sometimes we take that out on the people we feel closest to. I know when I'm often most anxious, I am most irritable and uncomfortable to be around near my wife. And that's obviously not fair to her. But what often happens is I've been holding it in all day, and then I come home, or I am home, and she is someone I know who is safe, who's not going to judge me or reject me, and I might sort of unload on her. And it's a not so great way of me saying I need your help and I need your support. But we often forget that anxiety's a lot of times about running away, but sometimes it's about roaring and really being mad.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, bad bitches have bad days too. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, bounce back, high bad bitch, always do. All I really wanna hear is it'll be okay. Bounce back, cause a bad bitch can have bad days.
This makes me think a lot about something I reminded myself during the pandemic when I was in quarantine. There's nothing, not quarantine, but sheltering at home. There was not really anything to do. I thought a lot about this idea of ancestral self-care. Like, how did my grandparents, how did my great-grandparents, how did they deal with their mental health? And so much of it was rest. So much of it was finishing the day and just being with family and being with loved ones and being with friends, of eating and drinking and nourishing your body and putting your legs up, making sure you're getting sleep, making sure you're getting rest. Like, I mean, that is so much of mental health, right? Of making sure the basics are covered, and the basics of rest and sleep and connecting with people you really care about. It's easier when you don't have to work. And so many of us get into the grind of the work days and just get really exhausted by it. I think there's just so much value to rest and giving ourselves permission to rest. Everything just works better when you've had a full night of sleep, when you've given your body the rest it needs and the nourishment it needs.
If I could write a letter to heaven, I would tell my mama that I should have been listening, and I would tell her sorry that I really been wildin', and ask her to forgive me because I really been trying.
A lot of times in therapy, if someone is struggling with, or not even struggling, but experiencing grief or thinking about someone who's passed away, we'll do something called an empty chair technique, where we'll take a chair and ask you to talk to that person as if they're still here. We'll do things like write a letter to this person. We'll do a lot of these different ways for you to be able to continue expressing what you think and feel about that person. Because even though they might have passed away, your relationship is still there with that person, and your thoughts and feelings about that person will change with time, because every relationship is constantly changing. So this could actually be a good way to experience some of the grief. Grief it's about experiencing as much of the emotions, the ideas about this person that you've lost that you can right now without getting overwhelmed. Sometimes you can experience and hold more of it. Sometimes you can't.
I'm really thinking about dialing 911 till I'm free, cause they probably won't think it's that deep.
I have been in this situation so many times where I'm working with someone and they're not suicidal, actively suicidal, at risk for hurting themselves. They're also not doing okay. And they need something in between crisis support, which would be like a suicide hotline or the crisis text line. And they need something like that, but there isn't really something available. And that is like a horrible experience. There aren't really many places for someone to go to, like a phone call or a text line or something like that, that's a step below that 911 immediate crisis, and is more than just like your general kind of support that you might get from friends and families. The other thing here is also sometimes people who are in crisis, they experience anxiety or depression, they might not think their problems are bad enough or warrant getting help from other people. And that's more their anxiety telling them the same kind of stuff that, like, you're not good enough, or like, or depression saying you really don't have it that bad, like what's wrong with you, you shouldn't be feeling this stuff, all that guilt stuff.
And I don't do drugs, so I never get a time when I'm at ease. I can't even handle smoking weed.
This idea of wanting relief from your thoughts, relief from anxious feelings, is very relatable. I've worked with a lot of people who say this exact thing, that I wish I could just kind of turn it off for a little bit. Some people are just born with the volume turned up on anxiety. They have more of an anxious temperament. These are the people who are more vulnerable to developing anxiety-based problems. This is why there's also such high rates of substance use problems. For people who have anxiety, some people can only socialize after they've had some alcohol, and some people chronically use cannabis as a way of coping with their anxiety. If you're someone who is experiencing such high chronic levels of anxiety all the time, you might be someone who is a really good candidate for medications, and medications might be a really great way to kind of help you with this.
Singing to Whitney, I just want to talk to somebody that get me.
What a great play on I Want to Dance with Somebody. So much of the song is saying, I just want to be understood. This is what you all are seeing, but you don't have any clue of what's going on in my head. Here's what's actually going on, and I wish it was easier to talk to somebody, get some help to figure this all out. I wish it was just easier for you to get me and feel supported. I love this song. This is really cool. I actually want to check out more of her stuff now as a result. What did you think? What do you think about anxiety? Let me know in the comments below. And also, while you're there, let me know what you'd like to see me react to next. If you want to watch more of my reactions, check out this right over here.